automotive manufacturers. Born almost 100 years ago, the company is committed to preserving its past, as seen here at the Factory Museum in Sweden. In the UK, Scania has joined forces with the Transport Trust, a registered charity created to protect our transport heritage. The Scania Transport Trust Awards honour and reward the preservation of transport within the United Kingdom. At the first annual final in 1989, Scotland's paddle steamer Waverley sailed into history as the scheme's first overall winner. In 1990 saw 12 finalists compete, selected from more than 200 entries. This 1916 FWD truck was built as an artillery tractor for the British forces. It's now the only long-wheelbase example left. Today, it's owned by John Harris. His painstaking restoration took nearly 2 years to complete. After the Great War, the truck was converted at the FWD depot in Slough for civilian use. There, the cab and body were added. FWD stands for four-wheel drive, and the vehicle has an ingenious but simple mechanism transmitting drive to each of the wheels. Great attention has been paid to detail. The Harris family has been involved in transport for more than 50 years. John has a collection of 5 historic commercials. The FWD is in the livery of the haulage company started by his father, which John now runs. He frequently rallies the truck and can often be seen at the wheel, proudly driving along the lanes near his Hampshire home. Until 1951, this Gateshead tramcar carried passengers across the Tyne Bridge. Today, it caters for a different kind of passenger, visitors to Beamish, the North of England open-air museum. Beamish has an extensive collection of transport. To provide glimpses of life in days gone by, the museum has restored and recreated a variety of exhibits. Rowley Station has been moved and rebuilt brick by brick. The smithy looks after the heavy Clydesdale horses, housed at the stable yard along with drays and a fine collection of tack. For visitors to Beamish, which is spread over a 200-acre site, transport is essential. For them, the trams and a replica bus are living history, providing the link between each different area of the museum. 100 miles to the south and west of Beamish is the Greater Manchester Museum of Science and Industry. Its Air and Space Gallery houses many famous aircraft. One in particular stands out. The Manchester-built Avro Avian is one of only 2 left in the country and is the only one on public display. Every external detail has been fully restored. The Avian was a popular sports biplane and was tremendously successful in competition. Record-breaking aviators included Captain Lancaster and Lady Heath. The Avian at the museum was damaged while taxiing and now has an undercarriage from a later model. Its flying career ended when it was flown into telegraph wires. Retired aircraft engineer Basil Carlin led the restoration. He advised on working with wood and fabric and has brought the plane back to static display condition. In return, the plane's owners, the Aircraft Collection, have promised that the Avian will remain on long-term public exhibition in Manchester. Until recently, the sight of a Lowestoft smack setting sail on the morning tide was just a memory from the past. Now, a dedicated team, the Excelsior Trust, has brought that vision back to life. Excelsior fishing number LT472 has been totally renovated and is now back to her former glory. In their heyday, there were 1,000 vessels in the Lowestoft fleet. Almost every family had somebody involved in the industry. Now, only one smack is restored and sailing, Excelsior. A sail trainer today, she no longer hunts the cod, plaice and other demersal fish off the east coast. The only competition Excelsior takes part in now is the Tall Ships Race, presenting her trainee crews with a unique sailing experience. Boasts more than one famous railway line. The short but very sweet Welsh Highland Railway carries more than 20,000 passengers a year. Its entry in the Scania Transport Trust Awards is Russell, the last surviving loco from the original narrow gauge line. Russell is a 262 tank locomotive. Built by Hunslet in 1906, it ran on the line until it closed in 1937. In 1964, a group of enthusiasts set about restoring the Welsh Highland Railway. Russell was given to them on a proviso that it should be maintained in museum condition. This was interpreted as restoring back to running condition. Work began in earnest in 1984 and was completed at the line's Porthmadog workshop 2 years later. The project was guided by Chief Mechanical Engineer Mike Fairbairn and Steam Loco Foreman Colin Blackwell. All in all, around 20 of the Society's 1,100 members were able to participate in the restoration. Russell leads the way towards their next goal, an extension of the track some 8 miles up the valley to Bethgelert. Mike Sutcliffe's buses are guaranteed to bring a smile to your face. He's proud of his achievements. With one in the livery of the famous London pirate operator Chocolate Express and the other in that of the Todmorden Corporation, the two Leylands are among the finest restored buses in the country. Mike believes that luck has played its part in his efforts. I found the body for the Chocolate Express on a farm in Norfolk, he said. As it was being loaded onto a truck, a passing villager said, "Happens I know where there's an engine for that." 2 chassis frames also surfaced, one found buried in concrete, the other, a front half, discovered in a factory attic. These Mike welded together to make one good one. Luck, however, played no part in the dedication showed by Mike and his force. The game was image. The British motorcycle became a symbol of a new, emerging youth culture. Times can be remembered at the Llandudno British Motorcycle Museum, where 50 bikes are on show. Many famous marks are there. The idea belongs to husband and wife team Mike and Sue McGarry. Mike wanted to restore bikes, but Sue really a sight on the airshow circuit. But they do far more than just sell aviation memorabilia. They're active in the field of restoration, and they own 4 aircraft. Their Miles Messenger has been rebuilt by a team of members led by John Eagles, an aeronautical engineer. It should soon, once again, have a certificate of airworthiness. In addition, they're restoring a Gloucester Meteor, the oldest 2-seater training version left. When restored, it will become a gate guardian at RAF Innsworth near Gloucester. There's another aspect of the group's work. They operate a search and supply service for anyone else who is restoring a part of our rich aviation heritage. A large supply of potentially useful items are held in their store. So far, more than 100 supply missions have been carried out, and parts supplied to private individuals and major museums alike. Through their efforts, the group's 30 members are ensuring that the wings of yesterday will keep on beating. The Bovingdon Tank Museum is one of the world's foremost restorers of armoured fighting vehicles. The achievements of its workshops are its entry in the 1990 Scania Transport Trust Awards. Its Ward La France wrecker has been restored by the team in order to assist in future restoration projects. The museum was founded in 1923, following a visit to Bovingdon Camp by Rudyard Kipling. He expressed dismay at seeing so many rusting hulks left there after the Great War. Today, the museum provides employment for 60 people. Many of the tanks are put back in battle order, others for static display. Often they arrive in a very bad way. The fruits of the workshop's labour are on show inside the museum. Fighting vehicles from 17 nations can be found here. There's even a Swedish tank with an engine by Scania. Bovington has plans for further restorations to keep its collection among the most comprehensive in the world. This Singer Le Mans is the first member of a very famous family. It bears chassis and engine number 1. At Kings Norton near Birmingham, alongside other great automobiles and a few not-so-great ones, it can be seen at a museum owned by another famous family, the Patrick Collection. Although the museum mainly preserves for the future, it purchased the 1933 Singer because its first owner was Joseph Patrick, who used it in competition. Rowland Hunt was his navigator.
Well, it goes back to 1933, when I was the salesman with Patrick Motors. And Joe Patrick and I shared a common interest in motorsport. One day he said, "You'd like to come with me on Saturday? I've got a draw." And I was delighted, of course. And it just grew from then. From one trial we went to another trial and another and another. The short ones, the half-day ones, the expert trials, the long ones, London Land's End, London Edinburgh, and things like that. And it was a part of my life which I've always treasured. And I suppose I always shall, because here we are 55 years later, still talking about it.
In the Lake District, there's a unique collection of boats. In Victorian times, wealthy lakeside residents would own a Windermere steam launch, which they'd use both for pleasure and for transport. Today, 45,000 visitors a year reflect upon the lake's watercraft here at the Windermere Steamboat Museum. Esperance, moored outside, is the first name on Lloyd's yacht register. Kittiwake, almost 100 years old, still gives pleasure rides. George Pattinson is the father of this collection. Back in the boathouse is his most prized possession, the Dolly, the world's oldest mechanically propelled boat. Windermere steam launches were noted for their refinements, such as this Windermere kettle, which could boil a gallon of water in 10 seconds. The museum is operated by the Windermere Nautical Trust and is not limited solely to steam. Windermere powerboats are there, and Beatrix Potter's rowing boat can be found nestling in a corner. There's even a display dedicated to local eccentric inventor Jack Kitchen, best remembered for his gas gramophone. The Windermere Steamboat Museum and the other 11 projects we've seen were the finalists in the 1990 Scania Transport Trust Awards. The award ceremony was held at the Royal Automobile Club in London's Pall Mall. Here, the decision of the judges, a distinguished panel representing the fields of road, rail, water and air transport, was announced. Guest of honour was the Royal Patron of the Transport Trust, His Royal Highness Prince Michael of Kent.
And I would like to wish you and all concerned with this award scheme every success for the future.
Second runner-up was the Cotswold Aircraft Restoration Group. The award for runner-up was made to Mike Sutcliffe's Buses. And the overall winner of the 1990 Scania Transport Trust Awards was the Windermere Steamboat Museum. This project was judged by the panel as the year's entrant having made the most significant contribution to transport preservation in the United Kingdom.